Right, well here I'm about to fly cut the top surface. I milled it originally with an end mill, but I'm not happy with the accuracy, so we've made a fly cutter specifically for the job, which will reach both ends. Unfortunately, with the milling cutter I couldn't quite reach both ends, and I had to do it in 2 passes. But with the fly cutter I can do it in a single pass. As you can see, it wasn't quite flat from side to side. And the fly cutter is not leaving a perfect cut on the back and the forward stroke, and I can't get rid of that because I can't traverse far enough in that direction. So I'm going to have to do a very light cut and hope that that step disappears. The mill is trammed. I have gone to a lot of trouble to get the tram correct, but this is probably flex. The step here is probably flex in the fly cutter, which can't be helped. Right, well I have just taken the corners off with a file, and I've run a stone across that, and it feels pretty good. So there's a slight mark there where the back of the fly cutter was cutting, but I'm just going to put it on the granite and see how bad it is. The next thing on my wish list is a bigger plate of granite, because this is totally inadequate. So I've got a 3-foot piece on order. It's feels high in the centre, and it is, but it's not too bad. It's almost worth giving it a scrape and seeing whether in fact I need to surface grind it. Right, well, I'm at a bit of a crossroads here, but I'm learning a lot. First thing I've learnt is that the yellow ochre under the blue makes such a difference, and it makes it so much easier that I wouldn't believe it. This is just a bit of a tube of oil paint that I bought from the local paint shop. It was $10, which is about $6 US, and it's made visualization of the blue so much easier. I've done more passes across this than I care to remember, and probably I'm not leaning on the scraper hard enough, although I am leaning pretty hard, and I'm taking about as much as I can get off on each pass. So at the moment we have contact in this area here all the way down to here, so we've got a light spot at that end. So I'm going to do another 2 passes over this entire area here, not concentrating on the blued spots, just taking the whole surface down so that I can get this high spot in contact with the granite. So I'll do 1 pass in that direction and then another one in this direction. The other thing that I've learnt is that sharpening the cutter makes a bigger difference than I thought it would. I've got a diamond wheel set up at the appropriate angle, and I just sharpened the cutter a few minutes ago, and it just made the cutting so much easier. So I shall sharpen the cutter at more regular intervals from now on. Alright, so we're going to go full length, starting at this end. As you can see, I'm leaning on this fairly hard. It's raising quite a bit of dust. Right, I'm now going to do another pass at 90 degrees to that one. It was not long after this exercise that I discovered that I was using a scraping tool with the wrong radius on the end. This Biax tool, Jan in Norway, gave me a couple of years ago when I was over there, and he gave me two. I have been using this one almost exclusively and discovered that the other one has a wider radius, cuts a wider makes a wider cut and a much better job. And so after I finished this pass I changed cutters, and it's a giant step forward. So we ended up getting rid of that low spot at the far end quite quickly. The pattern looked a lot better, the scraping went better, and all in all it was a good learning experience. I'm surprised how little of the yellow that it takes, but it does make a tremendous difference. The reason I haven't tried it before is because I didn't actually know what to use, and I thought, well, I'll go out today and just buy some standard artist's oil paint and see how it works, and it works remarkably well. Now, because my granite is far too small, I'm having to work on a diagonal. Which is a bit of a nuisance. Now, I'm not actually pushing down on this except to stop it from overbalancing, simply because the granite's too small. So I'm putting no weight on it at all in the centre there, and I'm just putting a little bit of weight in the centre about here, just to counteract the bit that's hanging over the edge. And I don't know whether you can see that very well in the light, but we've got some reasonable contact here. We do have contact for full length, so I'm going to scrape this area now with 2 passes, and then I'll just touch the blue area at that end. We are moving closer to this end, but it's taking longer than I had hoped, but we'll get there. I'm going to do 2 passes over this area here only. Using isopropanol to clean this down. Nothing special about isopropanol, just that I happen to have some. We're a little bit light at that end, not too worried about that. We're fairly heavy in the centre here, and again we're still light in this corner, which is proving difficult. So another double pass, I think, through that centre area. So this feels like about day 19, but it probably isn't. I haven't counted the number of passes. We're now using the scraper with the wider radius, and I'm definitely getting better results. I haven't counted the number of points per inch because we're not near that stage yet, but I feel we're making good progress. We don't have any major low spots now, or high spots depending on your point of view. This was the troublesome area, and it's now looking a lot better than it was before. So we're now doing the, not sure whether that's in focus or not. So we're now doing the blued areas only, and it is flat. Okay, well, we're at pass number 4563, and I'm reasonably happy with the result so far. We've still got a long way to go by the look of it, but for a first attempt I'm quite pleased. We're now using the scraper with the narrower radius so that the cuts are not quite as wide, and I've done a slightly heavier blue on this one than I would normally do. Well, this is what it looks like after a week or two of spare time. It's been a fun project, and I have learnt an awful lot. You can look at all the videos in the world about scraping, but it's not until you actually do it that you start to recognise some of the things in your own work that you've seen that other people doing, such as shiny high spots and blue spots surrounded by slightly heavier blue, and these things start to make sense when you're doing it yourself. So we've got a lot more to do. I'm not going to show that scraping on YouTube, because you've all seen scraping done by people that are much better at it than I am. I have to thank Jan in Norway for his continued help over this project and his comments each night as I've sent him the odd photograph. I've got another straight edge to build. I probably won't video that one, even though it'll be slightly different from this in terms of the way I do it. I may put up the end result. The other one is for the friend of mine who gave me the the single piece of cast iron to make two out of. I'm not going to do all of his scraping for him. I'll just do the milling, because he doesn't have a milling machine. So I'll do the milling and bore the holes, and he's got granite and he's got scrapers, so he can do his own scraping. So guys, thank you for watching, and I hope that you learnt at least a little bit as much as I did, because I learned an awful lot through this project.